Greetings, all you succulent, solid guitar-loving succubi. Den here. It is about that time again, my friends. Today we are going to be ranking famous SGs. If you didn't know this already, SG literally stands for solid guitar. I feel like they could have workshopped that one a little bit more. But just like our famous Les Paul, famous Stratocaster, and famous Flying V list, it's the same thing. It's just SG guitars. I probably didn't get all of them. I feel like I got most because there's surprisingly not that many famous SGs. But I managed to get 20 of them, and I probably still missed one or two. So if I missed your favorite, let me know in the comments. I'll kick myself in the nuts. Maybe we'll be able to scrounge up a part 2 for the SGs. But today I've got about 20 of some of the most famous SG guitars in existence, and we're gonna rank which ones can throw it back like a gorilla having a stroke. We're not necessarily going off of who played them. Like, they're famous because of who played them, but we're not really going off of who played them. We're going off of how I like the way they look. So on to the tiers, shall we? So for the rankings on this one, it's gonna be what I would call them in my phone. Like, if I got this guitar's phone number, what would I put it as in my phone? So in the bottom tier, we have lose my number. These are for the ones that don't even get my phone number. And if they somehow had it, they can lose it. This is for the lemons, the plums, the... What's a fruit that actually sucks? Dragon fruit. These are for the dragon fruits. Dragon fruit is terrible. Like, why do people like that? Like, I remember I tried the dragon fruit monster one time, and that was literally the worst thing I ever put in my mouth. So yeah, lose my number is the lowest rank. Right below that, we have mutant toes. If you watch Superman, you'll get this one. They might be friendly. They might have a nice face, but there's something about them that just is like, I don't know about that. Up above that, we have last name. If you've seen my tier list before, you should know that the middle lower tier is for the mid guitars. Like, yeah, I'll put them in my phone, but they're only getting the last name because I'm not like friends with them, but I guess they deserve to be in my phone. And then tier below that, and then tier above that, I keep saying below. The tier above that, we have first name. These are for ones that I am cordial with. Maybe we could consider each other friends. They just get the first name. That's really about it. And then the tier above that, we have Pizza Hut. I really like these guitars, but I would put them as Pizza Hut in my phone because I don't want the SGs in the top tier to know that these SGs are also in my phone. It's a cheating joke. Do you guys get it? It's a joke about the worst kind of people imaginable. And then of course the top spot we have Boo Thang. This is for the SGs that are the best. They get the cute nickname, they get the fluffy, lovey heart emojis. The best of the best. These are the ones that, look at how big my mouse gets. That's how big something else gets for these guitars. All right, I've yapped on too long. Let's get into this. Now before we actually rank all these creatures down here, there's a few SG guitars that I want to put in here that don't have a famous artist associated with them. Starting off with like just the most basic versions of an SG. When you think of an SG in your head, you're just gonna think of a red SG. Say SG one more time. Here's the red SG with like the full pick guard, and I think this one, I can appreciate this guitar enough to where it gets its first name in my contacts. And then the other like most commonly known version of an SG is still a red SG, but it's just got the like little tiny pick guard on the bottom. This one also gets the first name treatment. I kind of look at these two versions of an SG as the exact same thing. And then another quirky SG that I wanted to talk about is the Zoot Suit SGs. People went crazy over the Zoot Suit guitars when they first came out, and I remember everyone was like super jazzed about the SG one in particular. And I can't lie, it's pretty cool looking. This one, you know what, I'll put this one as Pizza Hut in my phone because I really like that one. And then the last one of these is the only SG that I personally have ever owned, which is the blue Epiphone Prophecy SG. I loved the way this guitar looks. This is easily my most favorite looking SG like in existence. It looks so goddamn cool. Blue burst, it's got a flame maple veneer on it, but yeah, this thing had Fishman Moderns in it with like a special Gibson voicing. The hardware on it was like a brushed chrome. It looked so goddamn cool. It had 24 frets. I believe it was a 25.5-inch scale length too. I really liked everything about this guitar except for the neck on it. They used this stupid asymmetrical neck to where it's like a baseball bat on the bass string side, and then it's like a thin little Ibanez neck on the treble side. But since the bass side is so goddamn huge, it just felt like a fat neck. But despite the neck shape, I think this one is the first one that can go into the Boo Thang category. I really love the way this guitar looks, man. All right, let's start actually ranking these homunculi that I have listed down here, starting off with Mr. Tony Iomi and his black. Why is he behind the bars? I swear to God, stupid. This is a stupid app that I do this tier list thing on. All right, we got Tony Iomi, the godfather of metal. It's himself. I almost said itself, but I believe he is a he, him. Yeah, Tony Iomi is the GOAT, and we're looking at this black SG first, and I mean, it's a black SG if I've ever seen one, I tell you what. Here's his Epiphone version of this black SG. As you can see, it's a black SG with cross inlays. When I was growing up playing guitar in like the late 2000s, 2010s, stuff like that, I would always see Tony Iomi playing this black SG. And I mean, I love Tony Iomi, but we're ranking the guitars. A lot of people have been getting mad at me in my other tier list videos for my rankings because they think I'm ranking the artist and not the guitar of the artist. I'm not ranking the artist. That's a totally different tier list that we can make some other day. But I'm ranking the guitars that these artists used. Okay, I don't know how else to explain that to you guys, but just like stop threatening my family in the comments. I'm ranking the guitars, not the artists. Tony Iommi is the GOAT. He's literally the reason why metal music as we know it today exists. But when it comes to this black SG that Tony Iommi uses, it's just kind of mid. So this one, I would put it as just its last name. But that is not the only Tony Iommi SG we are looking at, friends. We are also going to check out his red Monkey SG. And now that I'm looking at the headstock, I don't even think this one is a Gibson. So I'm fucking up this tier list already. But the guitar that I'm talking about is his red Monkey SG. It's just an SG with some gnarly looking fat ass pickups on it. These pickups are really something. They are taking up some space. I think Tony Iommi's red SG, I don't even like red, but I think it is marginally cooler than his black SG. So Tony Iommi's red SG gets the first name treatment. We are moving on to another GOAT. I am talking about Sister Rosetta Tharp. She is an absolute G, and she has one of the coolest fucking SGs I've ever seen. It was one of those white 3 pickup SGs. It's got the big, beautiful, oversized diamond inlay. I don't remember which tremolo this one is, but it sucked. But that's like the only thing that ever held these 3 pickup SGs back. But yeah, Sister Rosetta Tharp's white 3 pickup SG. It's getting put down as boo thing in my context. Moving on, we have this goofy little guy. We've got Darren Malakian. Is that how you say his name? Darren Malakian? Malakian, I don't know. The guitar player for System of a Down. I was raised on System of a Down. Like literally the first song I can remember ever listening to was Chicken Stew. I love that song. I thought it was so goofy and fun. System of a Down are the GOATs. And Darren Malakian, he's always been a little bit of a SG goober. And he's got this pretty cool black SG custom. Actually, I don't think it's a custom. I think it's just got like custom appointments. Maybe it is a Gibson custom. It just doesn't have the diamond inlay, which is kind of stupid. Like, do I really like black SGs that much? I think I gotta ask myself that. I think Darren Malakian's black SG belongs in Mutant Toes. I think that is a good place for it. We got George Harrison and his SG. I believe it was still just another red SG, probably a 61 or some shit like that, with that little shitty vibrola thing on it. And George Harrison's cool. Like, he did a lot for music. George Harrison's SG gets the last name treatment in my context. This one's a goofy one. Up next, we've got Eric Clapton's SG, which has been dubbed the Fool. And that's because it's got one of the wildest paint jobs on it that I've ever seen. This thing's kind of sick, actually. It's got the same vibe as like George Harrison's Strat that we talked about in the Strat tier list, but I like the way this one was painted more. Eric Clapton's The Fool SG, I think I would put this thing as Pizza Hut in my context. Up next, moving on, we have Miss Samantha Fish and her white SG. Samantha Fish is like a more modern blues artist. She's got some guitar skills and she's got some pipes, I tell you what. She's also one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life, but I'm gonna try really hard to not talk about that. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but she's got a white SG and yeah. When you just look at the guitar itself, it's a white SG with gold pickups, gold bridge. It's like a white Les Paul Custom, just in an SG shape, without the binding, without the headstock diamond, which is kind of a meh. But yeah, it is a pretty cool SG. Holy shit. It's got a stupid little pineapple instead of the headstock diamond, and yeah, but it's still pretty cool. What were we talking about? It's a white SG, it's really nice. It's got gold pickups, it's got a gold bridge. It's a white SG. Guys, I'm so not gay. I know some of you guys think I might be gay, but I'm not gay. Moving on. All right, now let's get into some of the big boys in the SG. We got Angus Young. When it comes to SG players, it's like Tony Iommi and Angus Young. Those are the two artists you think of when you think of a Gibson SG. Like, I know AC/DC gets a lot of shit. Angus Young's a pretty fucking cool guitar player. I remember I had these neighbors that were like learning guitar at the same time I did, and they were obsessed with Angus Young. His SG is pretty neat. I think this is one of his signatures. It's like a really dark cherry red to where it's almost black, and it's got just the AC/DC lightning inlays, which is pretty neat. But I mean, Angus Young has played literally every kind of SG imaginable. Like, he's got this one black one with a white pick guard that looks pretty freaking cool. It's got the headstock diamond, gold hardware, gold pickups. This one looks freaking good. This one is like his signature, I believe. I think this one would get the first name treatment if I were to put it in my contacts. But when it comes to this Angus Young SG, this one goes up up in Boo Thang. I really like the way this one looks. Up next, we have Mr. Jake Kiska of Led Zeppelin 2, Electric Boogaloo. I actually can't think of their actual band name. What is the band? I know what the band's called. I've listened to their music. Greta Van Fleet, that's the band name. He's the guitar player for Greta Van Fleet. And he's got this really cool vintage 61 SG that looks beat to all hell. He absolutely rips on that thing. Greta Van Fleet is pretty underrated because it's literally like we have Led Zeppelin right now. Like, it's a modern day Led Zeppelin. And I know they don't really like that comparison, but it's not a bad thing. And I don't think they should be discredited just because they sound so similar to another band. Everyone said Bad Omens sounded just like Bring Me the Horizon. And Bad Omens is like huge now. So yeah, this is a picture of his 61 SG. And you can see it's just checked to all hell. It's nice and worn. I love me a nice beat up guitar, guys. Jake Kiska's 61 SG. I'd be putting that thing as Boo Thing in my context. This one's a little bit of a silly. We've got Jack Black in School of Rock. Like the 2000s era had a big guitar boom because of School of Rock, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, and Guitar Hero. And that can't be understated. I think the most unrealistic part of this movie is that this guy who's pretending to be an elementary school teacher would have enough money to own a Gibson SG. Jack Black owes Kyle Gass an apology. Last name. That's where this one goes. Yeah. Chicken Jockey. Pete Townsend's red SG. Now his red SG is not like the other girls, because his red SG has P90s. And I can't lie to you guys, P90s are some of the ugliest fucking pickups. P90s are some of the ugliest looking pickups that you could put on a guitar, but they sound fucking sick. His red SG gets the first name treatment. But we're also going to look at his white SG, which I am much more particular to. And his white SG with P90s is pretty friggin' sick. Pete Townsend's white SG gets to be put as Pizza Hut in my phone. Up next is a little bit of an underrated one. Like, it's so underrated that I couldn't even find a good picture of Gary Moore playing his SG Junior. But yeah, it's a nice butterscotch yellow SG Junior that used to have P90s in it, but he replaced it with a humbucker, as it appears. But it's a damn good looking guitar, I must say. Gary Moore's SG Junior also gets the Pizza Hut treatment. Moving on. This one actually isn't a Gibson SG. We are gonna look I'm not gonna be able to say his name with a straight face. We have Zachy Vengeance from Avenge Sevenfold, and his left-handed like Schecter version of an SG. But I think he's actually probably my favorite member of Avenge Sevenfold. Don't get me wrong, what's his name? They all got goofy ass names. Sinister Gates, yeah, it's just as bad. Most people associate Avenge Sevenfold with Sinister Gates because he's the lead guitar player and he's like some big old virtuoso, and he's a really good goddamn guitar player. But Zachy Vengeance doesn't get enough credit because he is also a pretty damn good guitar player. He just doesn't get talked about just because he's the rhythm guitar player. But a lot of their solo stuff, they harmonize together. So Zachy Vengeance has some chops himself, and he needs some appreciation. And he's got some pretty damn cool signature guitars. His red one is still pretty cool, and that one gets the first name treatment. His army green one will get the Pizza Hut treatment. But his new white signature Schecter SGs, I'm putting those as Boo Thang in my phone because those are pretty damn sick. Quick dog break. This is my dog. He only has one eye. Moving on to the GOAT himself that has appeared in almost every single one of my tier list videos. Zachy Vengeance is getting in his way a little bit. We've got Jimi Hendrix and his white 3-pickup SG Custom. And it is almost the exact same story as Rosetta Tharp's white 3-pickup SG Custom. This thing is sick. I don't care if it's got this shitty tremolo on it. These guitars look awesome. I love the way these things look. I love Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, this is another one that's going up in the Boo Thang category. We have another one that is not a Gibson SG, but this is Reba Meyer's signature LTD Viper. I think it's called like the RM600 or something like that. I think these have actually been discontinued as of this year, but her Viper signature guitar is pretty damn sick. Single EMG pickup in there. I don't know what the red one is supposed to be. It's probably like an 81 adjacent kind of pickup. Normally she's in Code Orange, but she's actually been touring as Marilyn Manson's guitar player. And You know, I liked a lot of Marilyn Manson's music until, you know, a mountain of allegations came out pretty much saying he was a demented rapist. So, you know, that's not the coolest news to hear. Mutant toes. He gets mutant toes. This whole video I've been saying you got to separate the guitar from the artist, but that's one of those things where I don't think you should do that. Hot take, maybe, I guess. Yeah, if you're gonna like willfully associate yourself with someone with those kinds of allegations, that's it's a pretty big red flag for me. I don't think I can compartmentalize that. I don't think I got that in me. I take shit like that seriously. Moving on, we've got Frank Zappa and his goofy, heavily modified SG. It's got like a cream white headstock on it for some reason. Pickups without covers on them, which I think look pretty cool on an SG. Shitty ass tremolo that no one actually uses. It's got these like switches here that I'm not sure what they do. Maybe they're coil splits, maybe they're phase inverters. I don't know what they are. I shouldn't assume. You know what they say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. But I will say that Frank Zappa's Red SG is just another Red SG that gets the first name treatment. Derek Trucks. More like Derek Fuck. Just like Angus Young, this guy has played so many different SGs throughout the years, but I found this one picture of one of his signature SGs that I thought looked pretty freaking cool. Cream uncovered pickups, stop bar bridge and tailpiece. It's got the like plate for the shitty tremolo that they always put on these SGs, but it doesn't have the actual shitty tremolo. No pick guard, which I really like the look of. This is a pretty fine looking SG. Now I know this SG he's playing in this picture isn't the same guitar, but what I'm gonna be ranking is this Derek Trucks SG. And I think this one definitely goes into the Pizza Hut category because I really like the way that one looks. These last two SGs we're gonna look at are Doubleneck SGs. And the first one we're gonna look at is Don Felder's white Doubleneck SG. I love the way this thing looks. Hotel California is a banger of a song. Don Felder's a G. I like the red ones, don't get me wrong, but the white ones are just cooler. Oh, that's a good looking Doubleneck SG. If I was gonna have a Doubleneck guitar, it would probably be a white Doubleneck SG. Don Felder's Doubleneck SG definitely gets put as boo-thang in my contacts. We've got one more guitar we're gonna look at here, my friends, and that last one is Jimmy Page's Doubleneck SG. Everyone who works at Guitar Center is getting Vietnam flashbacks of everybody playing Stairway to Heaven right now, but I mean, it's a legendary guitar. It just might be the most legendary SG on this entire list, just because it's Jimmy Page's Doubleneck SG that he played Stairway to Heaven on. And Jimmy Page's Doubleneck SG is crazy because if you look at Don Felder's SG, it's pretty much just got a normal Tune-o-matic bridge on both sides. But if you look at Jimmy Page's Doubleneck SG, there's like a mile of distance between the plate where the strings sit and the actual bridge itself. And like recently they came out with a dumbass like $20,000 Ultra Relic Murphy Lab exclusive version of this guitar, which is dumb as fuck. Yeah, for any of the poor souls that actually got conned into buying one of these, yeah, have fun trying to buy strings for this guitar, sucker. But regardless of Gibson's insane, greedy nonsense, Jimmy Page's Doubleneck SG obviously is also gonna go into the boo-thang category. I would still choose the white Doubleneck SG over the red one, but the red Doubleneck SG just obviously goes into boo-thang. I think I'd get death threats if I didn't put it there. But I think that is gonna wrap up our famous SG tier list for today. Yeah, I think I was a little nicer in this video than I have been in others. The top category is the most filled one out of all of them. I didn't put any in Lose My Number. I didn't really think I would. SGs are pretty damn cool, I can't lie. But I think that is going to conclude my video ranking 20 of some of the most famous SGs in existence. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really hope you guys enjoyed. As always, go down there in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Share the video around, take your SG and smack that like button. And if you regularly watch my videos and you haven't already subscribed, then your SG is going to lose my number. Because you can also lose my number, stinky McFart ass. Real quick, I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Solar Flare, Rob Heath, Bad Joe Guitars, Brandon's Ballast on Corner, Bandage Knives, Jan Chocolate, Leagues Beneath, Scott Toman, Master Chief, Big Tills, and Julio Moreda. These big old badonkadonks are my current channel members and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join these guys, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help support this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button, tiers start as low as 3 schmeckles. There's also the super thanks button down there if you just want to give me some money, but I'm done being a tool. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.
Bye, Felicia.